Hey guys, welcome back to another stream. Oh, no, not a stream. Welcome back to another video. So, while I've been grazing through the forums, I've seen loads of people saying that they're struggling to make money on Animal Crossings. Now, I always find the game, you've got to definitely grind the game a little bit, but I'm going to show you how to make 100,000 bells, so 100k bells in one day without any time traveling. I play the game without time traveling at all, but some people do, and that's absolutely fine. It's a mechanic in the game that you can use, obviously, but for me, I just like taking it steady. So first thing I'm going to do, just so it's like really fair, is I'm going to go down to the cash machine, and I'm going to deposit all the bells that I have already. And then we're going to make a point of seeing how long it takes me to make that 100,000 bells. So there's loads of different ways you can make money in Animal Crossings, and a lot of this will depend on where you're at on your island and things like that, but let's go with it anyway. So what have I got in my... So let's deposit the full amount. Okay, so completely empty bank account. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to go across to my money tree for the day, and I'm going to harvest my money tree. Now, there's loads of talk on the money trees on like how much you can bury and like what kind of return you get. So I, without fail, always deposit 10,000 bells, and I always get 30,000 bells back. I have seen screenshots of people who have done this and have deposited 99,000 and then they've got 3 bags of 99,000. But I just find the safest way to ensure a return is to always deposit 10 and you always get 30 back. Because I have also heard that people deposited 99,000 and then still only got 30 back. I think the percentages change a little bit. So for me to say every day I deposit 10. Now obviously I've just harvested 30, but I've already planted my money tree today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the bank and I'm going to put another 10,000 into the savings, because really if you think about it, the money tree is only really giving you 20,000 profit, because you have to deposit another 10,000 into the golden hole thing, so that you get another 30,000 in 3 days time. So just to make it totally fair, I'm going to deposit another 10,000 into the account. So 10,000. So that leaves us with the 20,000 that we've got from the money tree. Cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my orchard and I'm going to harvest all of my fruit. Now, when you start the game, obviously you get your what's called your native fruit. So my native fruit is pears. And then you have to trade with people, or sometimes I think your mum sends you some as well to get the other fruits in the game. So that in the game there's pears, oranges, peaches, cherries and apples, but I don't have the apples yet. So your whichever your native fruit is, so for me it's pears, they're only worth 100 bells. Every other fruit here that you see and the apples are worth 500. And the coconuts on the beach are worth 250. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to harvest everything that is an exotic fruit. So the oranges, the cherries, and I'm literally just going to harvest it all, take it straight to the shop, and I'm just going to bin it off there. It's a nice little earner. Now depending on how I want to change my orchard, because at the minute all the fruits harvest at the same time, so this is a really good way to contribute to making this amount of money. But obviously if it takes 3 days for the fruit to grow. So if you're clever about it, you can make it so you get a supply of fruit every single day. But at the minute, like I said, all mine grow on the same day, so I get a bigger haul, but only every 3 days. So depends which way you want to do it. When you plant them really close together like this, it can be really difficult to see where they're falling. So if you're struggling, the best way to do it is to bring up your inventory, and that cuts so you can see kind of what's going on around on the ground, and then you can get yourself in the right area, and it's just wait till the little bubble comes up and then just pick it up from there. It can be a bit disorientating, but once you've got used to it, you're alright. So I'm going to harvest all these on this plateau first. This is like, this was originally going to be my orchard, but I'm not really sure. Like, I like the layout, so I'm sure at some point I am going to move it. While we're on the topic of fruit, now I use my pears, my native fruit, primarily for moving trees and stuff when I've been making my flower gardens and my orchards and all the rest of it. Because it's obviously only worth 100 bells, but I still harvest them every single day, and I use what I need to move the trees, and all the rest I put into my house storage, because your native fruit will sell for more if you go to somebody else's island that has a different fruit. So my friend, he has peaches as his native fruit, so when I'm going over there, I will take, if I've got loads of pears in storage, I'll take my pears and I'll sell them for the full 500 bells. So that's a nice little earner as well. But obviously, if you leave them on the trees, it's like here now, these ones, I'll harvest these later. But if I leave them here for, say, 2 days, that's 2 days that they're not growing. So I always harvest them and put them away in storage. And then I'm always getting like a maximum return on my kind of investment, if you like. Now, for the most part, my fruits are over there, but I found an island that had loads of oranges, so I got a few orange trees dotted about my island. Definitely tag me, guys, on Twitter or Instagram in any sort or any inspiration for my orchards, because I definitely feel like it's where it's at the minute isn't really doing it much justice, and then the rest of my island's got random kind of orange and cherry trees spread across it. I think I've even got a peach tree in my forest, which is like where all my pine tree things are. So yeah, not ideal. So yeah, send me some inspiration, team. I need to see it. So I've got a few more down here, and then we can go sell them, and we can see how much we've got for them. Yeah, I need to rearrange these because I always lose one orange on that tree. How's everyone getting on with lockdown? Is it like, is everyone fed up yet, or? I've been off work for ages now, for about 5 weeks I think, because I predominantly work in a leisure facility, and obviously we were one of the first kind of industries to close up. So yeah, I've been off work for ages now, but it's all good. Sweet, so I get the last orange that fell in there. So like I said, all those fruits there, they're all worth 500 each. The coconuts are worth 250, so I'm going to harvest them as well while we're at it. And there's a balloon coming, and I'm pretty sure I'm close to getting 300 balloons. I still haven't got my golden slingshot, guys. But I stopped popping Easter balloons when there was that glitch that stopped the... I already got it. That stopped like balloons spawning after your 300th one. Okay, so we're getting there now. I think I've just got a couple more coconut trees to harvest, and then we can go see how much that haul is worth. Yes, Nana. Ooh. My heart is now full of glee. Thanks, Nana. I like the reactions. It adds a little dimension to it. They taught me how to cry the other day. They're like, you just need to cry. And I'm like, thanks. That's joyful, isn't it? Okay, so... Right, so we're gonna... Oh, there's Crazy Red for anybody who hasn't seen him yet. He is on my island today. His first picture that he sells you is like genuine, and that's what you need to do. Is you talk to Blathers first, and he'll talk about the fact that he's now accepting art and looking out for art, and then that will trigger Red to turn up at some point, and you'll see his like he's got like a pirate ship thing, and that's on the secret island. On the secret beach, sorry, right at the north of the island. And then if you speak to him the first time, he'll try and sell you some art, and he tries to sell you it for like 500,000 bells. But don't worry, because if you read the dialogue, both options are effectively no. And then he like knocks it down to kind of 5k. That first piece, if you donate to Blathers, is genuine, and that's what kind of triggers the museum to upgrade. And then from that point, I'm pretty sure Red then will continue to come, and that's where the whole process starts between is it real, is it fake, and you have to try and work out the differences between the two. So from what I've seen online, the differences the two are really subtle. So there's like a Mona Lisa, and that's like, it's something to do with like, if you compare it to the real Mona Lisa in real life, that's the real one. And it's something really, really little, like the position of the hands or something. So that's apparently how you discover the real. There is blogs who have done like full comparisons, but I kind of like the idea of working it out myself and trying to kind of spot the differences a little bit. So for me, I'm not going to read too much into that and try and find that guide. Okay, so let's see what the turnip price is actually. Not great, but it is Friday. Okay, so we're going to sell all the coconuts and all the other exotic fruits. See what we get. $56.5 G's. Alright. So, like I said, the fruit is like a really, really good way to earn a lot of money really quickly. Just between the money tree and the fruit, we're already at 75 G's, which is pretty good to be fair. So that, for me, is I think the two easiest ways to make money pretty quick. So from here, we haven't got too much left to make, but this is where the grind starts a little bit. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go down the beach and we're going to pick up every single shell that we find, and we're just going to sell them. Now, I don't even have any of the shell recipes yet, but obviously if you guys are looking out for a specific shell or collecting shells for DIYs, and you're not going to want to do this, but I tend to find, like, on the island, you tend to get so many shells through the day. It's, hey, have I left some coconuts over there, but we'll leave them for now. But yeah, the more you collect, the more just seems to keep washing up. I seem to get absolute tons of shells on my island, and I don't really know what I would do with them. So it's time to get rid. So we're just gonna squeeze through there. Now all the shells are obviously worth different amounts. but because they're there, I just pick up whatever's there, and I'm literally going to sell every single one of them. With the other things, obviously you can be more picky, but you know, if you're not using them for anything else, you might as well sell them. So I've done a full run around of my beach now. Last one here. What I have noticed is I never ever seem to get anything washing up on the secret beach at the north of the island. Everything seems to wash up on like the main beaches, so I don't even bother now. Like going down there. Goosey Lucy, my favourite. I love the fact that it's a chicken but called Goose. Literally makes my day. Who's your favourite islander, guys? Drop it in the comments. I'd like to know. Because everyone's obsessed with seems to be obsessed online with the same handful of characters, but I find it really refreshing to kind of come in with no expectation and make my kind of decision based on how they act on my island. Okay, so what have we got? We've got 1 giant clam, 6 sea snails, 5 Venus combs, 2 conchs are they called, 3 cowries, and 7 sand dollars. See how much we get for these. So 6,000 bells for what was probably about 2 minutes, absolute max, just picking up shells along the beach, which is really good. So it leaves us with about 20 G's left to make. And this is the part where this part depends on what's going on. So we're quite lucky because when I switched to game on this morning, it was raining, so I thought, oh, this is going to take a bit of a while. Now we're going to go for catching some bugs. Bugs I find spawn way less in the rain. You get way less variability of bugs in the rain. But in the summer, in the sunny weather, you tend to get more. Now I'm going to catch every single bug that I see. I'm going to try not to be too picky. But if you come to the flower garden like here, and there's 3 or 4 different bugs that have spawned, I would always pick the most valuable one. So for example, I'm especially looking out for the orchid mantises because they're worth 2.5 G's. Normal mantises are 1,000, and they're the ones that the bees, the mantises, and the stink bugs are the ones that kind of if you try and the ladybugs are the ones that if you try and catch them and you miss but you disturb it, it kind of despawns, if you like. It just disappears into thin air, flies off or whatever. Whereas the butterflies, they seem to stick around more. So again, I always prioritise those an orchid mantis over a butterfly as well, because the butterfly will still be there after I've got the mantis. Now, these are the best butterflies at the minute to get, these and the sunset moths. I say that now, before the most recent update, literally the peacock butterflies used to spawn every minute on my island. It was absolutely crazy. You can see there's an orchid mantis down here, and I was making so much money. And apparently now with the new update, the one that's brought leaf and red, the spawn rate, they've absolutely nuked the spawn rate. So peacock butterflies, tarantula scorpions, the man-faced stink bugs, all the ones that were worth more money that was spawning quite regularly seems to have gone down dramatically, which is not ideal because that was a really, really good source of income. Which you can still make that income, it just takes a little bit more of a grind now. It's not as quick as it used to be. Now obviously with this as well, guys, if you have got CJ or Flick on your island, you're gonna make half that money again. So if something's 1,000 and you sell it to Flick or CJ, you get 1,500 for it. So again, it's a really good way to get some money in pretty quickly. But I don't have either on that island. I find the best way to do this is just keep a nice empty inventory and then try and catch as many as possible and then go with a full inventory to the shop, so you're not going through too many like pieces of dialogue basically, because the dialogue's what can take the most time, like going in and out of the shop all the time. You can see there's another mantis. So the best way to catch the ones like this is to hold the A button and you kind of get in this position and you kind of creep up on them. And they do that thing a bit like tarantulas do, where they almost go into that fighting stance. Just keep stopping and then creep up and then catch it. I do find as well, like I don't know again how like legit it is, but I do find that I get more creatures around my hybrid flowers. So where I've had a lot of hybrids, they definitely seem to attract more bugs, but I'm not really sure on that. Now I personally prefer bug catching to fishing. I find it a quicker process, which is why I'm doing it first. But if it's raining and you're not getting the spawns as much, then obviously it's then a better time to go fishing. Or if you're trying to catch fish, like if you're looking for a particular fish, like I really should be fishing for the blue marlin and tunas because I haven't got those yet and they go at the end of the month. Then obviously it's a good way to rack up money while you're trying to find something that you're after anyway. Another mantis. This is my flower garden. You can see I've got a few hybrids here, but this is the beds where I'm gonna just have 2 of each colour flower. And then over by the museum I've got loads of random ones where I'm trying to get them to crossbreed, but it's not a quick process. Okay, so we're almost there. Like you can see though what I mean about the spawn rate. Like literally I was doing this the other day and there were like 3 or 4 peacock butterflies and one of the sunset moths at least every kind of, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. And then now I think we've seen what have we got? 1 peacock. It's absolutely crazy. Like I can't believe how much they've nuked the spawn rate of them. But I think they've done a lot in this latest update to try and almost make it a little bit harder to get the bells, because I think they didn't realise how quick people would rack up bells. And I definitely don't think the developers of this game or Nintendo or whoever were expecting the global pandemic to come around just as they released the game. Obviously people have got a lot more time on their hands now, so maybe progressing or looking for ways to progress quicker through the game than they maybe would have been otherwise. So yeah, I definitely think this latest update they've tried to make it harder for people to rack up millions and millions of bells. But yeah, I don't mind that to an extent. Like I quite like Animal Crossing because it is one of those games that runs in real time, so it's a bit of a different concept. I think I like the weather changes and I like that kind of slower pace of game. Okay, so my net's broken now and I've emptied my pockets. I had room to fill everything in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the shop, sell the bugs I've got, and then I'm going to probably just buy a net just because I don't want to go all the way to my house to get the materials to craft one. Let's see how much we get. Let's see where we're at. Come on, Tommy, run the numbers. Cool, so 11,500 for, again, a bit more of a graft than the other methods, but already that's took us up to 93,800. I'm going to buy a net, so that's probably going to take us down 800, but 800, I think 400. I'm probably going to buy 2 just so I've got plenty to keep going on. So obviously from that point you can keep hunting for bugs as long as you need to make that money up. I would also, like I said, the fishing's also really good, especially in the rain. The fishing's good because you don't get as many bugs spawning, which is dead annoying. So we'll just do a little bit of fishing just to try and get that last bit of money up. But look, the shells are spawning again already, so we've literally done one loop and we're already starting to see a few shells dotting out. So in that respect it's pretty good. Now obviously there's more ways to make money. Obviously there's the turnip market. There is, you can sell things to other people online. You can, especially if you've got a good turnip price and you host your island, then people usually tip pretty good. But it depends how much. I just find I don't mind the online, but I don't like being online in an island that's like really busy with people, because you tend to spend so much time kind of waiting for the dialogue to go, so I find that really frustrating. So I try not to do too much of it. I don't mind going online if it's just me and my mates and they're, between us, it's fine, because once you're there you're not getting disturbed all the time. But I don't know why I pressed that. But yeah, it really stresses me out when it's like on and off all the time. So yeah, try not to do too much of that. The turnip market's good, but I would just obviously get a good return on investment most of the time, but just don't skint yourself on the Sunday in a hope to make more, because I think a lot of people find it dead stressful, especially if your turnip price is like tanking all week. So I normally buy a couple of 100,000s worth, depending on where I'm at. Like last week I only bought 100k's worth because I had just paid off I think it's the £800,000 like mortgage, so I was a little bit skint, so I had about 100 grand's worth, because I always like to have enough money in case something like a really big piece of furniture comes up in the shop and it's really cool. So I would kick myself if like the kitchen unit, what's got the kitchen islands comes up, what's like 100 and odd grand, and I didn't have the money. So I like to keep making sure I've got a bit of money in reserve. The good thing about fishing as well is because you're going up and down the beach, again, it's a good way to kind of scour for new shells as well. So you kind of killing two birds with one stone, if you like. And my fishing rod is broken. I really dislike this mechanic. I mean, it's good in some ways because it adds like another element to the game. But I mean, even the gold tools break. Like that is just not that good. It reminds me very much of Breath of the Wild. I remember I got stuck on one of the bosses, one of the Divine Beast things, because I kept my kind of bow and arrow thing kept breaking and I couldn't find one that was good enough. And what's up with Goosey Lucy? Come on, how much, Goose? I'll buy it. But you're putting me back on my target, Goose. Put me back on my target. I love the fact that I love the mechanism of giving them like sayings. I've seen some really kind of some really good sayings online. So the tree stumps are a really good place as well. Make sure you chop a couple of trees down, because they're really good spawn places for the bugs. you need the axe, this axe here, the like actual axe, to be able to chop the tree down. But yeah, just do it with a couple, and just gives you like a good spawn place for the beetles. You get dual beetles and all sorts there. Okay, so I'll tell you what, we'll do one more loop up here. This is where all my flowers are. And then we will go and see what else we've got. Now, another good one to oh no, don't run through the flowers, Charlotte. Right, let's sell these. See where we're at. What am I offering? Well, that is a good question, kids. So I do find like catching bugs is much quicker than fishing as well, but you know, it's personal preference. Which one do you enjoy more? If you enjoy it, it's not going to feel like it's as much of a drag. Cool, 7.5 grand. So you can see you can do that for as long as you want, and it's easy enough to rack up kind of like 10 Gs a time, and then obviously if Flick or whoever's on your island, that's going to be 15 Gs a time, depending on how much time and effort you put into it. You know, especially if you get lucky and get some on somewhere like Tarantula Island or something, you're going to be racking up loads more. So the last kind of method that we want to talk about is the rocks. So every day on your island, obviously you need to hit the rocks in order to get your like supplies, and every day there will be one rock on your island that gives you money. So if you do the three holes behind you, that's going to stop you getting pushed back too much. And then as you hit it, you should be able to get all 8 hits in, which will make the most of the stuff that you get. Now, obviously this isn't the money rock, this is just supplies. So you need to go around each rock on your island and just do the same method. I think you've got 6 rocks on your island, I think. If you break them, they do respawn, but they only respawn like 1 rock a day. I have seen people who've like broken the rocks and then like planted loads of weeds and stuff, and like pretty much every square in their island to try and get the rocks to spawn into like one place, to try and get, so it's easier to harvest the supplies and stuff every day. Now, with the supplies, when you get to a point in the game, I remember when like the first week in, it was like a nightmare trying to find like all the iron and things like that for the different tasks that you got set throughout the game. But as you get like later on in the game, it gets much easier really to like kind of build up a supply of those resources. So you can then use those resources if you want to look at building every day the Nooklins will have like a hot item, and they pay twice the amount of bells for that hot item. But I just find the crafting is just like so boring, and it takes so long. If you could bulk craft items, that would obviously be way better. But because you can, like, I don't really find it that worth it unless that item's actually worth a decent amount of dollar bills. So yeah, I don't tend to do that, but again, if you've got spare resources, it's another good time another good way, to make belts. So we've done 3 rocks and we've not found the mini rock yet, so let's keep going. Thing is, I don't often do my rocks because I have got that many resources that I don't really do it, so I forget where all my rocks are. See, I need some inspiration, guys, for this area around here because there's literally like, I've just got so much wasted space on my island. It'd be really helpful to try and, I want some inspiration for something, some areas on my island. So here's the money rock. So every time you hit it, you get like slightly more money. So you want to try and get all 8 hits in. So you can see, so the last hit there was 8,000 bells. 4,000 bells, 2,000 bells, 1,000 bells, and you've got 500, 200, 100, 300. So they're the amounts. So 100 comes out first, and then you get the 200, 300, 500, and then these are the money bags. So 1,000, 2,000. And 8. So, you know, it's a good amount of money to make, and that has now taken our total up to, let's put these away. So that's now put our total up to, what we got, 4, 12, 13, so £113,000, and that has taken us half an hour, 36 minutes to be precise, to make 100,000 bells. So as you can see, guys, it's really, really easy, and you know, it does take a little bit of a hustle, and you know, you have to be lucky, or you have to maybe change the way you think about it in terms of the weather. And so it's definitely worth growing some, I'd say takeaway tips is definitely worth growing some of the non-native fruits. That's really important, and that is by far like my biggest kind of source of regular income, passive income if you like. But yeah, it's definitely doable to make this money, guys. So yeah, let me know how you get on, let me know what else sort of content you want to see, and if you've enjoyed today's video, please hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell, and that will let you know once I'm uploading a new video. Yeah, hopefully guys, I'll see you next time. Bye!